for 2018. Welcome. This is obviously an open forum. I hope this presentation, it's not really a presentation, it's more of like an update and a discussion. And I hope that is that better? Okay. All right. And I hope that is, I hope everybody participates throughout this talk or update. So I'll call on various committee chairs or people who look like they want to say something, and just feel free to chime in, because this is really about the community and everybody chipping in to hopefully advance the common goal. So, okay. So this is what we're going to try to cover here. So I don't know what's the best way, so I can, Anyway, all right. So I'll obviously go through the introductions on the next slide, which will introduce all of the various board members and also the committee chairs. I will go over the election process, or Sagi, who was the chair of the nominating committee, who's hopefully will be here by the time we do this. He'll go over that. If he's not, then I'll pick it up. So we'll talk about the election process, participation and results. We'll talk about our mission here, what we've been trying to do, how we've been trying to accomplish it. And then we'll go into some more of the detail of what we've accomplished this year, and specifically with respect to ANSI, which is the American National Standards Institute, and we have become, it's no surprise I think to anybody here, we've become an accredited entity that can now create standards. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And we made some progress bringing over some work that various community members had done in terms of BCOP. And Chris will talk about that. Chris G will talk about that. We've stepped up our marketing efforts. Mona will talk about that. And we've maintained certifications and grown certifications for existing certifications and existing members, or I guess constituents. And we are in the process now of aggressively developing new standards that we think are important for the industry. Finally, we will talk about, or at least just advise the community that we've been thinking about a potential rebrand overall, but in the meantime, certainly for the new standards that we're developing, we're thinking about a broader purview. So that's that. Okay, board of directors. So this is a volunteer organization. Everybody who spends time here is taking it away from something else, work or family or hobbies, I guess, if people have those. So we appreciate it, right? So the directors are here. Aaron Hughes is the vice chairman. He's sitting in the back. Corey Gallen has served as our treasurer. Matt Griswold, our secretary. You're not going to wave, Chris? No. Oh, there he is. Oh, yeah. Sagi. Yeah, exactly. He's not distinctive. Sagi, is Sagi here? No. Okay. All right. Okay. He's in the basement. Good. All right. Sagi, Rob DeVita, who's now our executive director, and Frank Ray, right there, who's sitting in the back. So thank you, directors. And also, importantly, I want to thank all the committee chairs and members and acknowledge them, because without them, obviously, we don't have anything to do. And really, this organization is about enabling the community to develop standards. And so I do want to acknowledge all of these names here. I'm not going to read them all out one by one. You can all see them. But I will acknowledge Jim Grady, Chris Rogers, and Paul Emmons, who are here. Mona, who's here. Jill Francis, who's here. Chris Grundeman, who's here. And Kevin, who's here, right? No. Did I miss anybody? All right. Sagi didn't make it. Let's talk more about the committee, guys. There's really some good folks up there. I think I'm going to go one by one now, actually. And perfect timing. So yeah, I didn't even have to, that was just right on beat. I didn't even have to stall. There's no recording. No, election results. We are up to you. Yeah, no.
Okay, perfect timing. Hi. Okay, so we formed a NomCom committee. So it's 4 active members of OpenIX. It was myself, Jim Grady, Christian Koch, Charles Gucker, and we put out multiple calls for the nominations, and that was the result of the committee. We then put out calls for nominations to the actual board. So we received 7 initial nominations. 6 of them made it through our vetting process, and we ended up with these final nominees, Paul, Matt, Aaron, and Eli, who are currently on the board, and Arnold, Chris, and Paul, who are not on the board. So we had really good participation. So we had almost 40% participation of members. And if you did not get an email to participate, it's because you're not an active member. So please join. We sent links, with secure links, to vote per member, and like I said, almost 40%. So these are the results. So Matt, Eli, and Aaron, welcome back, and we want to welcome Arnold Nipper to the board as well, who's hopefully watching somewhere. So Arnold's not here. I believe he's in Germany, and hopefully he's watching on the webcast. So hi, Arnold, and welcome. Okay, and again, we had 40% participation. We're happy. I'm happy with that number. The membership community could be larger. There's a lot of folks who are involved with OpenIX, but might not be not active members. So if you're here, you want to be involved, please just sign up, pay the $50 a year, and join as an active member. So next time you can participate. Thank you.
Thanks, Sagi. Okay, thank you, Sagi. And Sagi's been involved for many years. Thank you. You weren't here before when we acknowledged all the directors, so I want to publicly acknowledge you. Okay. So moving on, again, I'm not going to read through. That would be rather dry. I think, what we've been doing as a board over the last, almost 2 years really, is refining and sort of redefining what we're all about. What's our mission? Who are our constituencies, and how do we serve them? And so, initially, we sort of formed this proliferation of internet exchange points as a goal, right? And while that still is a goal, and still is part of our core mission, it's evolving, right? And so it's evolving because of input from everybody here. And so really, now what we're looking at, I think, is more broadly infrastructure and enabling what we view as sort of open, free, fair, and reasonable, non-discriminatory pricing, those types of concepts throughout the internet infrastructure stack, for lack of a better word. Okay, so that's kind of the mission as I see it today, but that changes every year as new board comes in and we go through our strategy. So again, this is for the community. So today, what we actually do and what has brought us to this point is developing standards for data centers and internet exchange points, and then we go and certify these entities. So our strategic plan, I just put that up here. We'll make these slides available online, I think, afterward, we decided. But I guess they're going to live on in posterity, perhaps. These are basic sort of blocking and tackling things that we have tried to do over the past year, and hopefully we've succeeded at some, if not all of them. But we've tried. Okay, finance. So yeah, we've spent a good amount of time sort of getting that function resituated, and Corey Gallen, who's joined last year as a director and is our treasurer, will talk a little bit about that.
Yes. Hello, Corey Gallen. I am, as Eli mentioned, the treasurer for the organization. We've made some changes this year, specifically focused on stabilizing our financial situation. So we engaged Friedman, which is a sort of smallish accountancy based here in New York, to perform a number of services for us. The first of which was to clean up our tax filing situation for last year, which was an effort, and then work through bank reconciliation. So make sure that everything that we think is there is in fact there and where it should be. We've also then worked with them to compile formally FY17 financial statements. Those are available on the site. And they will also be assisting us then with a number of sort of ongoing accounting services, not the least of which is they'll provide ongoing financial statement compilation. So that process actually is kind of the lowest form of third-party assurance that you can have, which for an organization of this size, frankly, makes a lot of sense. But they will review our books and records, ask questions or drill into anything that seems to require additional attention, but then that becomes the baseline for preparing formal financial statements for us for public consumption. So as of the end of last month, the financial standing of the organization is that we've had a year-to-date increase in net assets of $62,000, and our total assets are just shy of $200,000 at $197,000. This year, with the onboarding of Rob DeVita as our new executive director, he and I, along with the board, will establish a much tighter cadence for financial management and reporting. And then we've just, in this morning's board meeting, determined the date for our next strategy session, during which we will present to the board on behalf of the organization a full-fledged budget for next year, which I think is a first for the organization as a whole. So a good story, I think, generally, and certainly a good trajectory. That is all.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Corey. Okay. Also, it occurred to me that I was remiss in thanking somebody and acknowledging somebody's contributions who's not here, and that's Aista Buenestaike. I don't know if I said that correctly, but Aista was our executive director for a period of time and contributed greatly over the past 2 years in getting us to where we are today. So. Okay, so that's it for finance. So moving on to ANSI, there are quite a few slides here on ANSI, and we're not going to go through all of them. However, since these are going to be, these slides are going to be made public, we do want to provide this, right? So ANSI, for anybody who doesn't know, is the American National Standards Institute. We are now as you can see, an accredited standards development organization, okay? That's step one, right? So we got through step one. That was quite challenging, lots of paperwork, lots of us sort of really just clarifying the processes that we adhere to and codifying them. And so now we have the next step, which is to actually take our standards that we're currently implementing and have them certified, right? Take them as the development organization and get those certified. And then in the future, everything we do, all the standards we develop should be developed under these guidelines and also get ANSI certification. Again, I'm not going to go through all this stuff. So, okay. I think the concept here is, what can we do, right? So I'm not really gonna, wow, that is really rich. He went through quite a bit. So we're not gonna spend the time to go through all of what that entails. However, we will say that we do think it is meaningful. We think it is a significant step forward for the organization and gives us the ability to do or to develop standards that have more meaning, more weight, and quite frankly, it was an investment that the board made that we felt would benefit the entire community. So it's something that we now have to live with in terms of the policies and development processes. But I think it's something that's, again, a great opportunity, a great platform. Cool. Richard isn't even here. I'm surprised. Okay. BCOP.
Yeah, so the BCOP committee, BCOP stands for Best Current Operational Practices. It's something that's been an effort for a long time. Most of you are probably familiar with it. Now that it's homed at OpenIX, we've made some good progress over the last year. We've moved all of the current BCOP documents to a GitHub repository, which is linked here, but it's pretty easy. It's github.com/openix/BCOP. So they're all in Markdown now. It's actually really easy to work with. It's basically a text file. So they're there. We can kind of continue to work on those documents. Some of them have been ratified, some of them have not, and also start new documents. In order to facilitate that, we've got a Slack channel, #BCOP, on the OpenIX Slack, which you can join and join the conversation there to find out what we're doing and how you can help. Also a mailing list if you'd rather do that. We definitely need folks to kind of step in and provide some leadership here. So the next step is really reinvigorating and vitalizing that community. Obviously, network engineers are not always the best people at wanting to create documentation. So anyone who can jump in and help kind of spur that along is greatly needed and wanted. So feel free to grab me here or shoot an email to the list or jump on the Slack. That's it.
Yep. So so BCOP, that whole process, I think, is a great example of the type of thing that we can do here, right? Because this was something that was a project that you've been working on for many years, predates OpenIX, but it's very much aligned with what this organization and this group is about. So bringing that over to this organization, I think, is great for the organization. So thank you for that. Thank everybody who participated in that. I think it's a great example, right, of what we can do, and I hope other people out there also use this platform to hopefully get more involvement in whatever projects they're working on. So, okay, marketing. You leave that to me? Okay, all right, so obviously, marketing is a big part of this organization's, you want to do this? Oh, awesome. Thank you.
I want you guys to get your money's worth out of me.
Yeah, there you go.
You're welcome. Love of God. So we've taken a lot of key steps on the marketing front this year. We've engaged Miller to help us with our social media campaigns, just to get more awareness of the organization out into the market, and also to help with getting more volunteers into the organization. So they've done a great job for us, and really beefing up our social media presence on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. What else is on here? Some strategic partnerships that we put into place. One was with the Broad Group. The Broad Group runs conferences all around the world, and we participated in our first one last week, the Edge World Congress. And part of that partnership that we've put together with them is to help drive attendance to their events, but also give us a platform. So I sat on a panel last week on setting standards for edge/micro data centers, and we'll be doing more of those globally going forward. We are also in the middle of putting together a partnership with Metro Connect and the team at Capacity to do the same thing with them, really just to help evangelize what the organization's doing and continue to help it grow. What else we got here? That's really the majority of the marketing update. We've got a lot of things going on, but really the biggest thing we're trying to do is get the name back out there, make OpenIX relevant again, and I think, not to steal Eli's thunder, some of the announcements we'll have later today on some of the new certifications and standards that we're planning to come out will help drive that to increase membership, increase certified entities, and deliver more value to the organization and the community as a whole. So, thank you.
Thanks, Rob. All right. So some of the stuff, really talking about what we do, right? Today, right, we have these two standards. We certify data centers and IXPs to these standards. These are sort of what those standards look like. Do you want to say a few words on the OIX1 side, perhaps? No? Okay. Well. So the OIX1 side is the Internet Exchange Point standard. In terms of the OIX1 standard, probably not that relevant to call on you at the moment, but we had the OIX1 committee is also developing some new standards that maybe you want to talk about. That, or do you not want to talk? It's up to you. All right. Yeah. Why don't you talk about that? Because I think we appreciate your work. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Chris, chairing the IXP committee. Over the past few months, we've been working to focus our efforts on creating a nonprofit or kind of a smaller IXP certification that's going to be offered at no cost.
Yeah,
At no cost to the internet exchange operators. And basically we're going to be, once that kind of goes out and gets ratified, we're going to be looking to work with a lot of these smaller operators and new sites to become certified.
So we're excited about that because we want to, again, bring more people in. The themes are very simple here. So by lowering the hurdle, obviously, and a hurdle in many cases was cost, but also giving, putting some requirements around that, so we're not just being taken advantage of. We think that opens up the universe of certifiable entities significantly, and that's what we're trying to do. So, thanks, Chris. Okay, and then on the OIX2 side, data center certifications, these are the existing certified data centers under the existing OIX2 standard and all of their locations. There's it's the global view. I don't know if that's right, so let's skip over that. New standards, though. This is what we're really, we are extremely excited and proud of those standards, and we will continue to maintain them. As part of our continued commitment to maintaining relevance for the community, we've also introduced three new standard efforts. The first is an edge data center standard. The second is this local or small scale IX. And then the third is a Cloud Connect standard. Do you want to talk about the Cloud Connect standard? Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go through all three of these real quick. The Edge Micro Data Center standard, we're really looking to put a standard in place that consumers who will be purchasing these micro edge data centers have an idea of what type of facility they're going into. Again, not saying that one is better than another, but just identifying for consumers what they're getting into as they go into these micro and edge data centers, which will essentially be at every cell tower in the country and around the world as they continue to roll those out. So we're excited about that standard. Eli talked about the local IX, the nonprofit. Really that's an entry point to really beef up our portfolio on the Internet Exchange side and really embracing what OpenIX has helped to bring to the market, which is the proliferation of community IXs in the U.S. and abroad. So we're very excited about that. We're looking to double or triple our certified Internet exchanges in the next 60 days by rolling that out. And then the third is Cloud Connect. And again, putting together standards that enable a consumer to go into a data center and know exactly what it means to have a cloud on-ramp, whether that's a hyperscale provider that's physically in that facility that you can physically cross-connect to, or whether it's using, any of the companies out there that are, setting up direct connects or cloud connectivity for customers. So again, not that one technology or business model is better, but we believe, and the community believes, that we need to identify what customers are getting into and what their options are inside of data centers to connect to hyperscale providers or multi-tenant cloud providers. So we think these three certifications and standards will deliver significant value to the community as a whole, and we're excited about them. This will open up additional avenues for us to have conversations with some of your larger data center and internet exchange providers that traditionally have not, what's a good word?
Yeah, traditionally haven't been interested.
Have not been interested in working with OpenIX. So we're excited about it, and we're looking forward to delivering these standards with the community's help at the end of 2018, the beginning of 2019. So.
Thanks. Right, so this serves as a public call for volunteers. As we develop these standards, we need as many people who are involved in these various sub-industry groups to help us. Fortunately, we've had a lot of interest in these three, which is why, they've gotten traction, and this is where we're going first. But we're looking for more participation from more diverse interest groups and entities. This is an exciting time for us. We think we've taken the organization, pretty far from where it was a couple of years ago, but we think there's a lot of room ahead for us to run and give back to the community. So I guess we can open it up for questions. Here's the contact information, but if there are questions or comments or anybody else wants to say anything, I also want to just publicly acknowledge Richard and just say thank you. There's Richard Wolfram in the back who helped us. I can't even tell you how much he's helped us. Sorry, I can't even tell you how much he's helped us with the ANSI in terms of ANSI certification process, in terms of identifying the opportunity, drafting all of the language. Yes, yes, we went through your slides. Thank you. It's okay. We're glad you're here. Thank you. Sagi? Come on up.
Hello?
Huh?
Okay. I just wanted to add the new standards that are being developed are in development. So specific to the Cloud Connect, Cloud Connect is one of these sort of use cases, but I think we're looking at platforms that are on-ramps, and really any sort of software-defined interconnection platform, any sort of SDN, cross-connect, transport, Metro Connect replacement. And it would be great to have community participation from folks who are building those platforms, using those platforms, consuming them, because there's so many different use cases. So we're still working on the name. Cloud Connect, I think, is one variation, but it's really any sort of SDN networking fabric.
Right, and again, the idea is to set standards so people know what they're buying, because anybody who's in that business, I'm sure, has come across people that are saying they have something that don't necessarily have it, right? So defining exactly what these things are, I think, benefits everybody. Anything else? All right. Yeah? No? Okay, if there's nothing else, Hold on, I don't know about that. That's out of order, sir.
Just so you all get an idea of, right, I think you did if you've been here before,
Yes.
you've heard me, or those who haven't, or you've seen the slides perhaps, wasn't totally apparent from the slides, but I mean, the whole issue with standards is that they set the market. They can preempt market choice. In preempting market choice, standards can have an exclusionary effect with real commercial anti-competitive effects that have, in other words, antitrust consequences. Now, in addition to that, there can be activities by actors in the market that we're discussing that aren't related to standards per se, but are just sort of normal commercial sort of improper conduct. And there is a case that is brewing in district court in Las Vegas
Yes.
right now against a...
Sure.
a
Let's not,
data
yeah, it doesn't, yeah, this isn't the forum for that necessarily.
I just want people to understand
okay, that's
there's
good.
an antitrust context.
Got it.
In many facets regarding
Cool.
standard setting and what data centers.
Cool. Thank you, Richard. And everybody, thank you. Richard really did a lot of work for the ANSI stuff. Thanks. Anything else? Huh? Okay. So now we have some interesting content. Who is up first? Grizz, you organize.